Okay, so this is looking at solving equations algebraically. Now obviously we're focusing on trig equations, but it's the same techniques you know from before. We kind of looked at some of them last time. The only difference now is we're not just solving for x, we're solving for sine x or something like that, and then seeing what angles that will give us, what values of x. All right? You have to bring back all the methods that you know, and the first one is solving by isolation, which is just, what you would have said in grade 8 or grade 7 is if you have a variable, getting it by itself, right? Which I'm sure you're pretty good at that. The only difference now is instead of solving for x, instead it might say something like solve for x here, 3 sine x plus 2 equals 10. You just have to treat this as the variable until you get it by itself, and then deal with all the trig stuff. Okay, so the key is treat this as a single thing until you get it by itself. Until you get it down to the point where it says sine x equals something over here, don't even worry that it's trig until you get to that point. When you get to that point of having sine x equals something, then deal with all the angles and sine inverse and all of that stuff. All right? So to start with, we'll kind of break it into two parts. To start with, let's just solve it when it says sine x. Later on, you can do things where you have to do some other solving first. All right? There's going to be two different things here. There's going to be when you have to resort to the calculator and when, theoretically, you should be able to do it without the calculator. This one, you're going to need the calculator. This one down below here, actually, you're going to be able to do it without the calculator. No calculator. You can do everything with the calculator, but sometimes you have to recognize, it'd be good if you recognize some of the exact values you should know.